Yep, it's almost over. Hey everyone, and well, it's over. 2020 is coming to an end, and this nightmare can finally be over. But I just want to say happy holidays to everyone. It's been a rough year. It's not been very great in the real world. It's been pretty sad, but, you know, it's almost done. Let's hope this year's better than 2020. Like I said, how 2019 would be better than 2020. And here's to a great 2020. Yeah, I should probably stop talking. However, while this was definitely a bad year for probably the real world, it was definitely an alright year for Toontown. Because it always is a good year for Toontown.
There was honestly a lot that happened this year, like Hog Invasion going open source, Funny Farms having its final major update, the ODS revival, Pandora, the beta files, but one of the biggest highlights this year was Toontown Corporate Clash's 1.1 update. This was honestly one of the most hyped up updates yet. I mean, it was teased to come out sometime in 2018, and fast forward 2 years later, it finally came out.
To be fair to the Corporate Clash team, I'm pretty sure they had more ideas for this update to make it bigger and better. However, a lot of people got mixed with it because of how long it took. Either people really didn't like it, or liked what they got and was worth the wait. However, I definitely want to be the judge of that, and actually see if this update is as bad as everyone puts it out to be, or it's actually not that bad and people were just being way too harsh on them.
Even though the update started around sometime 2018, the hype began after the tease of the new Lob at HQ and Operation Break the Law being announced. Most of the month, they seemed like to be working on the update, since midway through they released the Outback update for the tunes. They would show teasers here and there and would even have a hideout for this update, and pretty much showing from the promotional art that this was going to be a big update. Around this month, they would be coming out with brand new art for the Lawbots, showing that they may be redone for Break the Law. This was pretty exciting from the way the build up to Break the Law, so when the time came around October 26, Break the Law came out. They released this animated trailer for it, which was really cute and cool, and the update did look great.
Alright, with them hyping up the cogs and the area with the outpost, this is gonna be a pretty cool update, so let's walk into Lob at HQ. Huh. Well, that was disappointing.
Don't blame me, when I say that I thought Break the Law was going to have the new Lawbot area since they showed it off, but it was actually for 1.1, everything hyped like the new cogs as well was all for 1.1, so that was a bummer. However, Break the Law was something that would lead up to 1.1, but I might argue this was a pretty bad lead up to 1.1. Break the Law lasted from October 2019 to July 2020. What? Now, you might think for an update going on for that long, they would probably have enough content for people to keep coming back to.
That didn't happen.
Phase 1 was really nothing that special. You know in Crash Cashbot when they made the area, it looked like the Toons invaded it? It was nice, it looked pretty cool in my opinion. Phase 1 for Break the Law tried doing that, but it was not even close to how good Crash was. Now you might think, well Anthony, they change it each phase. Well, sure they did, they only did it for Phase 1 and 2. And that's it, they kind of just skipped 3 for some reason. The idea could have had so much more potential, but I felt like they just didn't have enough time to work on it, which is kind of ironic since this lasted for 9 months, but I feel like they were too focused on the 1.1 update and Break the Law just became an afterthought. I think this because Phase 2 had barely anything new besides the statue idea, and Phase 3 only having some new things, but towards the end had a mini-boss, and speaking of mini-bosses, with the CJ gone, they replaced him with the Witness Stand cog. Now, like Storm Cellbot and Crash Cashbot, you would think you can go in regardless of your laugh, right?
That still didn't happen.
My mistake, you can do that, but you have to buy it. That literally just takes away the fun from doing the boss whatever laugh. Like, now I have to buy every suit piece just so I can fight an easier version of the CJ. And yeah, this version of the CJ is easier, so again, I don't know why they wouldn't let you fight the CJ without a suit. Also, aren't the point of these operations to power down a certain cog type and make everyone fight the boss while the cog type is weaker? At least the outpost area is really cool. You had some tasks you can do, buy clothing, and some upgrades which was really cool. Also in Lawbot HQ, you can buy gags there, and briefly they made the currency buy gags with dockets. No. That just kills the point. I'd rather go to the Berg than waste my dockets on gags when I could just use that for cooler stuff. Also during Phase 3, there was Ticket Tom, who can deposit tickets for a real-life raffle. Yeah, you can win prizes from these, like a mini poster, sticker, and my favorite, a Loopy's Balls bookmark. I never won, but my god, I really did try. From the pictures here, they look pretty high quality, but I sadly never got it. And finally, we have the witness stand mini-boss, probably the best thing about this update. It was something I really cared for because Break the Law really didn't have a lot to get excited for other than Sans being the... Sans? Also, there's also the Sans mini-boss, which is actually alright. It's sort of like Undertale. He doesn't take damage, but you have to keep fighting him and dodging his attacks until you finally kill him. He's not a bad joke boss. Okay, but going back to the witness stand boss, holy crap, this is fun. It's challenging, and he even has some new attacks for him, but what makes this the best is the music. It took me nearly an hour to fight him. Yeah, it's pretty long, but I really enjoyed fighting him. I don't think I'd ever want to really play that boss again just because of how long it took, but I really enjoyed my time with it. So overall, Break the Law was just kinda meh. They tried to hype up an update that was already hyping up another update, but when they tried to hype up this update, 1, it was underwhelming with the amount of things to do at first, and 2, the thing just came out way too early. Phase 1 and Phase 2 had a 2-month gap, and Phase 2 and Phase 3 had a 4-month gap, and then Phase 3 to 1.1 had another 4-month gap. So that's like 9 to 10 months of this update going on where we're basically getting very little from it. And to add insult to injury, 1.1 got leaked so many times from this time period. I already knew it was coming. Cog Designs got leaked, Lawbot HQ got leaked, the inside of the office got leaked. Well, Corporate Clash did that themselves, and the entire soundtrack got leaked in December of 2019. The secret of what was coming wasn't really a secret anymore, and even worse, by the end of Phase 3, more stuff with the game got leaked. Break the Law was a disappointment, but 1.1 was nearly here after 2 years of it being in the works. They made some trailers for it, the first one not too good. It literally just showed off one thing that wasn't that interesting: the cogs can heal themselves. Which is something ODS had 3 years ago prior. Yeah, that's all they showed, nothing exciting, just confusing what 1.1 was going to be. But then they got an animation for the Lawbots, and this was really cool. However, the lip sync for the tunes isn't that good, just look. Still, a pretty good effort to help promote 1.1. It even shows some of the new cogs here. This was big. When July 24th came on, everyone was trying to get on, so much so no one can even get on. I was waiting up all night for 1.1, but when it finally came out, my reaction to it was... oh no. So, what was planned for 1.1? The new Lawbots, Lawbot HQ, change your name, ears... okay, let's go at one thing one at a time. Something new they have here is a new launcher, oh boy. Like, don't get me wrong, the art here looks pretty well done, but now whenever I feel like I make the argument that Toontown isn't a furry game and then I pull this up, how am I gonna come back from that? At least the new logo looks cool, like the logo has a Saturday morning cartoon feeling to it, and I really like that. So, let's start off with the main attraction, the new Lawbots. So, to start off, I don't think I've ever been split between a new cog type before. The new Lawbots are weird, like, what did Clash do with them? They tried to make them more animated, which I guess is a cool idea, but some of them just look weird, like the bottom no. Okay, what exactly am I looking at here? Okay, I understand what they were going for. They were kind of going for the Series 3 trading card of the bottom feeder, and even the bottom feeder from the animated trailer looks not bad. But some of the things here in 2D do not look good in 3D, and the bottom feeder here is exactly just that. I do not like how he looks. It just looks scary and creepy whenever he talks. Like, no. It's a complete downgrade from the original. Like, I understand what they were going for, but how it was done just looks not good in my opinion. The Bloodsucker. Oh no. Okay, I saw this in the leaks, and I prayed this wouldn't be the final design, but here we are. This is just lazy. Like, they couldn't have been bothered to make a brand new vampire head model, because I'll never see this as a new Bloodsucker model, but they just reused it from Counterclaim. At least with the bottom feeder, it's not good, but I'll always know that, yeah, it's a new model, I'll always know what it is. Here though, yeah, this Bloodsucker is just Counterclaim. I can't really say much other than this new cog is just lazily done. But unlike the Bloodsucker, the Pettifogger is not that bad. It feels like a new fitting cog for the Lawbots with the design. I don't know why, but this design really reminds me of Luigi's Mansion. I don't know why, but it kinda does for some reason. It's not bad. I'd even say this is a pretty cool new cog for the Lawbots. Now dang, we're 2 for 2 right now. The Double Talker has such a great redesign. I feel like it captures what Disney was trying to go for back then, but this looks really cool. Even when it talks, I'm actually alright with it. I don't really like when the cogs talk, but I'm actually fine with it since it actually works with the Double Talker. So overall, not bad. Next is the Needle Nose. It's alright. I'm not as love with it with the other cogs, but it's alright. Again, nothing much I can really say on this cog other than it's pretty alright. The ambulance Damn it, we were 3 for 3. This is a very weird remake of the Ambulance Chaser. So you made this cog's head look like Mr. Crocker, and he looks pretty creepy. I really don't know what the direction they were doing for this cog. They wanted him to be angry, but the way they did it just doesn't work. Even looking at the leaks, this just didn't look good at all. I thought this was some sort of joke, but it wasn't. I really don't understand why they gave him this, but it just looks really weird on him. Moving on. Next up is the Conveyancer. Who? Am I the only person here who finds this cog very forgettable out of the new cogs? Like, I never see this cog in the street roaming around in the boss fight or just in general at all. But yeah, he exists. This cog is kinda weird. I feel like the head model shouldn't even belong in a Lawbot suit from how out of place it is. The head really isn't the best representation of a Conveyancer, like the Pettifogger was an alright version of it, but here, I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. Anyways, he exists. He's an okay cog, but it's just one I forget often and just don't care for. The Backstabber is not that bad. He's actually a pretty good remake of the Backstabber, probably a little better than the original. I was a little mixed with it at first, but now I really do enjoy this one. Just like the Double Talker, he feels like more of a fully realized version of himself. So overall, this was actually pretty cool. The Advocate is just really generic. Like, look at the creativity the Clash team with all the other cogs, besides the Bloodsucker. Look how they were, and then we just have this black cat. Like, it works, but it's not even that good. Also, like the Conveyancer, this really looks out of place in a Lawbot suit. Like, it doesn't even belong in it at all. You would think the design for the Advocate would be much better, but the design is just bland and generic. The Spin Doctor, I really wish I can call a definitive version of the Spin Doctor like I did with the Double Talker and Backstabber, but I really just can't. Like, this looks alright, but something about this cog just feels off and I don't like it that much. I think it's because they made him look crazy is the thing. Now, the Spin Doctor looked like a plain and simple doctor. Here, he looks animated and crazy. Well, yeah, animated is what they were going for with the new cogs, but I don't like how crazy he looks. He looks like he would kill me in my sleep. Also, when you're fighting him, his head twitches, and even when he's dying, it looks like he just wants to escape the suit. Well, the Spin Doctor is alright for the most part. I wouldn't consider him better than the original. The Shyster. Now, get ready, the Shyster community. This cog really isn't the best. Here's the thing. Yes, the Shyster looks alright, but if you're really gonna think about it, it's the most out of place cog here. Now, this doesn't look bad. It still looks alright, but this cog doesn't really fit here, or really belong here at all. I don't know, I feel like they could have made a way better design for the Shyster, but in the end, I guess it's fine. It seems to be a fan favorite with anyone, so in the end, I think it was a success with most people. The Legal Eagle was an alright cog. I don't know if I can call this the better than the original. Like, yeah, the model is better, but I really do have a real soft spot for the original one. They must have been really proud of this one since they have statues of it in the new Lawbot HQ. While this one's a pretty good remake of the Legal Eagle, I'll always have a soft spot for the original. Also, is that just the Kiwi model retextured? Because they look nearly the same. The Barrister. He's alright. That's really all I can say about him. He really isn't a bad cog or really anything I dislike about him. He's just alright. Finally, the Bigwig is just... I don't really like this. Like, yeah, that is a big wig, but his face looks so weird for some reason. I don't know, but I was expecting something way different from his design. Like, they made a poster of a different looking bigwig, and this looked Wait, they had this for nearly all of the cogs. So if you're telling me they had newer designs but went with different ones, What's the point? They have this for the Bloodsucker, but no, go with Counterclaim? And you can't tell me this is just promotional art, because this art shows the Double Talker and the Backstabber having the same designs. So why not do it for the Bigwig and the Bloodsucker? And even the Legal Eagle, it had the same sort of idea. So in my opinion, the Bigwig is not another favorite. It's really only okay, but I more so don't like it. The designs are really weird. Like, for every good new cog or old version of the cog they would do, they would follow it up with 2 bad ones. Like, I only really like 7 out of the 14 new cogs here, and 2 of them are actually a little split with the Shyster and Legal Eagle. The idea isn't a bad one, but the direction was weird. Like, you want to make these cogs more animated and wacky, because that just doesn't really work at all. Making them talk feels so out of place. It's like when Toontown Project Altus had that scrapped feature where they would make the toons talk. Like, that just doesn't work, it feels weird. Doing it with the Lawbots is just weird as well. Like, it's something that doesn't need to be here. Sure, it can help make new expressions like them being worried because they're nearly dead, but like, it's not that needed though, it just looks weird. We might as well get used to it since they are most definitely going to be doing it to the rest. It just wouldn't make sense if they didn't do it to Cashbot, Sellbot, and Bossbot. That said though, I'm kinda scared on what they'll do with them, since if I found the Lawbot revamp for the cogs to be a little bad, I'm scared to see what they'll do with Cashbot HQ. At least with like Bossbot HQ, that seems like something that could be touched upon. I'm probably not going to like the remake of Sellbot and Cashbot HQ of just how iconic they are. So yeah, overall, the cog revamp isn't my most favorite feature, but speaking of the cog HQ, let's check out the revamped Lawbot HQ. The new Lawbot HQ... well, it's a new Lawbot HQ. Some of the things I don't get for this new design is a few things here. One, why are there so many books in this area? Like, I get it, it's a law-based area, but why are there just all books? 2, I don't know if the fountain was really necessary to the area, but it would make more sense for Bossbot HQ when TTR had it for their area. The area is not bad, it's alright for the most part. Can't forget the Legal Eagles here. Going into the office lobby, this is actually really cool. Way better than what Toontown Online have. We have this cool area for the elevators and a place for the cogs. Can I just say this area over here had a huge missed opportunity? Like, I'd love to explore the doors here and check each floor. That would be pretty cool. The floors are the same, which is fine. They're cool the way they are, but they actually do have some new puzzles, and this is exactly what I wanted from a new office area. However, though, they could remake some of the areas, since some of these are just reskinned coin mints. Not the end of the world though, but it's something they should do when they can get around to it. But we have to go to the coolest thing they added from this update here, being the new boss, the CLO. Ever since the CJ said, screw Toontown and quit his job, the CLO took over and now there's a new boss for the Lawbots. Going into the lobby is great. It's basically everything a new Lawbot lobby should be. We also have this new person at the desk called Judy. Basically, it's a needle nose with no hair, and there you go, Judy. She doesn't really do anything besides saying stuff going near her. Maybe this is for a new update since there's some doors over here, but blocked, and will say, you'll get fired in there at that rank, you'll need the executive washroom key first. Perhaps you'll have the chance sometime soon. If this hints at a new mini-boss, then hell yeah, even more stuff to this. So with all this, let's check out the brand new boss. Well, to start off, we have a cool new intro to the boss, and even in the brand new area, we even see a meeting taking place with the Lawbots. They find out, get this, we're toons, and now the Lawbots are gonna decide what we're gonna do to us. Side note, the bottom feeder joke was actually something pretty funny. I like how disappointment the CLO just looks after he says that and proceeds to get rid of all of the cogs there. We're then fighting some cogs, and after all that, we have to kill as many cogs as we can in a cannon to see what sound we can get. We can either get a bugle, auga, trunk, foghorn, or opera singer. I want to just say at launch, this was hell. You couldn't really control yourself from launching from the cannon, and it really sucked killing the cogs. But after a patch, they fixed this, and now you can direct yourself to hit any cog near you. This is really helpful and makes this section more fun. After this, you actually help fight some laser cogs, which actually makes sense. It's good they're here because of how often you barely see them. After defeating the laser cogs, what you did in the laser cannon game gets brought over to the final fight with the CLO. This is actually pretty challenging. They nailed the perfect balance for the CLO. Like, with the other bosses, you know what to expect. All you need to worry is about their dodge, attacks, or jumps when needed. But with the CLO, you're making sure the cogs, the lights, the attacks from the CLO, jumping, and the tornado. It might sound unfair, but it's not like all at once. You have a lot to worry about, and you're always on your toes. The way this works is that the Resistant Ranger sets up a trap for the CLO, and it's up to you to get her into that trap to take some damage. But you have to stun her. How do you do that, you say? Well, you have some cogs you have to destroy here with your sound. You can either make a taunt for the cogs to come closer and kill them like that, or find some cogs coming near you and just kill them like that. You stun her and get her to one of the traps. She then takes some damage and rinse and repeat. Not bad for a fight. Like I said, it does get very challenging. I even died a few times when trying the boss out myself. At the end, you kill the boss since they fall from the floor, and you win. Overall, a million times better than the CJ, no questions about it. This isn't just something like get a piece of paper and go back and forth. You're way more involved for killing the CLO. A lot more is going on, and it's just a superb boss overall. You have this brand new reward called a Cease and Desist, aka one of the most stupidest rewards for a boss ever. What is it exactly? To put it simple, it's just lure, but even a worse version of lure. When you use a Cease and Desist, it stuns them, like something that would happen from the old Lawbot boss. However, when you do attacks, they sometimes miss. With lure, they never usually miss. I really don't know what the point of this reward is, it's literally just lure. I mean, this could help for lureless people, but there's always going to be a good chunk of people who have lures, so I don't see the point. I honestly don't have a reason to use this at all. It's not that great. Sure, it's more beneficial in battle than, say, the Cog summons, but at that point I just go for Cog summons. I can tell they did try their very best to figure out a new reward for the Lawbot, since I can only imagine it being pretty difficult to figure out a new reward. The sticker book shows a new cog section and it looks completely different. You click on a cog to see a full 3D model of them and a description on them. This is actually really great, and I'm really glad we even see the bosses as well. I really love going through these to see the cogs, to see the bosses, to see why I've never seen the Conveyancer before. Another feature is getting laugh from knock-knock jokes. We also have stuff for tune tips, new icons for Make a Tune, and something cool they added here was the ability to rewrite your name and rewrite your tune. Now, usually on Toontown Rewritten, you would have to buy 10,000 beans for this, but you can do it completely free on Toontown Corporate Clash. Also, when making a new tune, you can change their eye color and ear color. Pretty weird for the eye color, but it's okay. We also have new cogs being able to heal or get a boost, and there are some new cutscenes to the mini-bosses. Let me just say I really like the new cutscenes, they look pretty good and they even have some new music as well. Also in Goofy Speedway they have some trophies displayed here when you win an achievement, and also in Goofy Speedway you have some new treasures to regain your laugh from, and even in Acorn Acres as well. And that's about it for 1.1. I feel like too many people, even including myself, were way too harsh on this update, like really harsh. I'm pretty sure a lot of people came in with high expectations with this update, but I definitely came with more lower expectations because of the leaks I saw, and also the bad trailer they had initially, but all things considered, it's really not that bad as people make it out to be. People say that the CLO is worse than the CJ, the new cogs are atrocities, and the C&D... Okay, well, they have a point there. But guys, the Lawbot remakes are not that bad as people put it out to be. Yeah, I'm pretty mixed with it, but they're okay for the most part. And even with the CLO, I think the CLO is pretty good. It's even better than the original. And if you really don't like the CLO, you can always just play it on Toontown Rewritten. The CLO is perfectly fine in my opinion. I would take Clash's boss any day. But those redesigns, man, they're just... again, they aren't good, but we have some okay ones here. But for the love of God, please change the Bloodsucker. I feel like people got mad because of the build-up, which, to be fair, wasn't that good. The amount of time it took was 2 years. Yeah, I'm sure the update was announced too early, Break the Law was announced too early. However, I feel like what we got was alright. Now, I have problems with Lawbot HQ, and definitely with the new cogs and launcher, and the build-up. And, okay, it has its problems. It's not perfect, but it's not that bad. I really can't just leave it at, I like the update, but I'm just mixed with a lot of things containing it. But I more so liked it. In other words, I'd probably give this a 6.8 or 6.5 or even 7 at the very most, but even a 7 feels a little too high. I don't think it's the worst update ever. I'm pretty mixed with this update. Like, when it does something good, it does something good, but when it does something bad, you bet it does do something bad. In the end, I think this is an update worth checking out. It's okay, but it's really only for the people who are more so veterans of Toontown and people who've played through Clash's content and already want something new out of it.
I just hope that Toontown Corporate Clash takes a look at the feedback on the Lawbots, so whenever they decide to make the rest, they'll look way better. But anyways though, it's been a tough 2020, we had to stay inside, we had to go on online class, people have been getting sick, it's really sad in the real world. There goes my screen, but yeah, it's been a little sad. It's been a sad year. I know I'm not the one to get serious about it, but stay safe. That's all I want to say. Stay safe from 2020 now to 2021 in the future. We want to get rid of this. We want everything to go back to normal. So I just hope 2021 will be a better year than 2020, because last time I said, here's to a good 2020, it was not that good of a 2020, so let's just hope 2021's better, nothing bad. But anyways, stay safe everyone, and have a happy holidays.